Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today, without a green screen, but with the view of my lovely hotel room in law school. Everyone, I cannot move my laptop, otherwise I lose Wi-Fi connection for some reason. Hi, Dave.
Hi, how are you? I'm on camera for the moment, but if your Wi-Fi starts to play up, I'll turn my camera off.
Yeah, I just showed Dave my little hotel room, but yeah, Wi-Fi went away. Hold on a second. 1 second, please. I gotta put something very, very special because I saw something in chat and I wanna just play this for our lovely Jock Girl.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday, Jock Girl. There we go. I think she just froze. So, stop my camera.
So happy birthday, Jock Girl. I think I'm gonna turn my camera off as well.
Yep.
Because it's acting up. So happy birthday, Jock Girl. So welcome everybody to my what day is today? Tuesday? Wednesday? Thursday.
It's Wednesday morning, 2:30 for me.
It's Tuesday for me. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was not planning to go on a live stream really, but I finished early today. And I thought, well, I wanted to upload Melissa Parrish's interview, and I couldn't find it in audio. So what I thought is I'm just gonna read it out to you, and Dave and I are going to comment on a few things we have seen. It's not gonna be a very long live stream, but yeah, I just wanted to read it out to you guys. So, and just for to say something real quick, I'm not gonna become a lawyer or something. I'm uh, because many people said, "Oh, you're gonna be a good lawyer." No, I'm not gonna be a lawyer. I am union chairman for my company, so for the company I work for. And what I'm basically doing is I go often, very often, to law school, to learn about employment and the law rules, stuff like that. And this week I have a school course right up to my alley. It's all about data and data protection, and I have a very good guy that actually holds the course, and I can basically ask him everything. And this is just in favor of us, isn't it, Dave?
Absolutely. Well, considering you're learning all about data, or data as I would say it,
Yes.
I think that what we're actually studying in the Chris Watts case heavily involves data. So I think you're in a very privileged position at your
Yes,
workspace
very
to
much.
be learning considerably about data, and I think it's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it is. Well, he knows a lot. The guy who does it is actually a lawyer, right? So he knows a lot about data, obviously, but he also knows a lot about metadata and all that stuff. So I'm gonna be very, very happy. I had some great talks with him last night, and I'm gonna be very happy to tell you guys what he said to me about metadata and all that stuff when it comes to timeline chapter number 2. So it will
And
help us.
yeah, there was also something that through this interview today, there are some points in this interview that I'm going to briefly touch on that just don't quite make sense in some of the things that Melissa Parrish states, and it's going to be added to the timeline part 3, chapter 2,
Uh-huh.
where we go in depth with the actual timeline, because there is going to be some things that we're going to bring up during that actual um, chapter 2 that's actually going to be very, very significant. And I think that everybody seemed to forget they had a watch on Monday, the 13th of August. That's
Mm-hmm.
all I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jock girl, no need to cry. And you know what? I feel very honored that on your birthday, you're sitting here watching me talking.
Hmm.
So thank you and have a great birthday after you watch that live stream, of course. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank
Let's
you
get
very much, everyone, for being here. I
yes,
appreciate it.
thank you.
It's a stupid hour of the morning in Australia for people that are here. Tiger Girl, especially, being just after 3:30 in the morning,
Oh,
and
Tiger Girl, thank you so much for being here. Thanks
so
everyone.
yeah.
That's a weird hour, yeah, but I have to go down to dinner by 7 p.m. So I thought I'm gonna squeeze
Oh,
that.
you got an hour and a half or so. So brilliant.
Yeah, good. All right, let's get into this. I'm gonna read for you.
I'm going
Um,
to.
I also must say beforehand, she called back in um, the Frederick police and said basically what Troy McCoy had told her to tell police that he was in baggy clothes. And she also forgot to mention that she went back at Cervi 319 on Tuesday morning. So Melissa Parrish was actually there before the water truck guy arrived, right? So, and she said she went back to Survey 319 because they did not fix the leak on Monday. So, let's see what comes out of this. So, Melissa Parrish, date of birth is blacked out, telephone number also blacked out. We have it anyway. Was interviewed via telephone. After being advised of the identity of the interviewing agent and the nature of the interview, Parrish provided the following information. Parrish began employment with Anadarko as an operator in approximately May 2018. She met Christopher Watts towards the end of June 2018, and she is on the same Monday through Friday shift as Watts. She generally sees Watts about once a week during the course of her training in the oil field and at the office. Parrish is aware that Watts is married with kids. She knew that Watts' wife was recently out of town. Watts talked about his daughters with Parrish on occasion, and his daughters seemed to be his world. Parrish described Watts as very knowledgeable, hardworking, and easygoing. She never observed him complaining about family, home life, or other matters, and she observed him to joke a lot. Watts' nicknames were the Silver Fox, due to his appearance, and the Rain Man, due to his extensive work knowledge. Parrish was not aware of any issues or troubles with Watts' family. She was not aware of any enemies, concerns, or fears about associates, family members, friends, or other individuals. So there you can see they tried to investigate in all directions, right? They were asking her, do you know about any enemies? Who could have done this? And keep in mind, this was on August the 21st. So long after or days after Chris Watts was actually arrested. So they might have asked her, what was going on? Did he ever mention anything? Fears about associates. And this is very, very important to me. You know, on Monday, August the 13th, Parrish was assigned to work on Cervi 319 with Watts and Chad McNeil. Well, Watts was not assigned at Cervi 319 because that's normally not his territory. Parrish and McNeil arrived at the Anadarko office at approximately 6 a.m. and they left the office around 7:45 or 8 a.m. McNeil and Parrish drove together, but in their own trucks. They stopped along the way at the Bat Cave to try to find some parts for work. So the Bat Cave is that little location where they have all their tools and, parts for the oil tanks and stuff in there, but were unable to locate the necessary items. Parrish believes that she and McNeil arrived at Cervi 319 at approximately 8:25 a.m., but she referred Ryder to the GPS data on her truck for an actual timeline. Watts was already at the site when Parrish and McNeil arrived, and she was not sure how long Watts had been on site. Watts had a shovel, and he was digging a small hole near an oil tank. Parrish believes the hole was approximately a foot wide and 6 to 8 inches deep.
That hole was, those of you that are concerned, that hole that he was digging, let's just think about this, everyone, for a second. At approximately 8:30 a.m., why did it take Chris to be starting to fix the leak at 8:30 a.m. when he got out there at 6:53? That doesn't make any sense to me
Mm-hmm.
at
Right.
all.
Yeah.
At all.
Good observation. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Just let's keep going.
Okay. This was Parrish's first time at Cervi 319, so she was not aware of anything strange or unusual at the site. Cervi 319 contains 2 tanks, a pit, and a separator. Watts greeted everyone and explained what was going on with the equipment. Parrish did not notice anything odd about his behavior. He did not appear tired or different than normal. Watts told Parrish that he went to a Colorado Rockies game on Saturday, August the 11th, and he told her about a walk-off home run. Watts did not describe his seats, who he was with, or any additional details. It was an evening game, and he had hired a babysitter to watch his daughters. So, this is what he tells her on Monday, right? Weird.
Weird to have this conversation at work with somebody you hardly ever know.
Yeah. Watts did not say much else beyond these discussions. After some time at Cervi 319, Watts, Parrish, Troy McCoy, and McNeil departed and went to a second site. At some point, while at the second site, Watts went to a truck to take a call. He did not explain the content of the call to Parrish. Um, Roberts. Did he say Roberts? No. Okay, sorry. Parrish observed that the bed of Watt's pickup truck was full of equipment, but she did not observe the interior of the cab. Parrish was provided Ryder's contact information and she was asked to call should she recall additional information. On August the 16th, Ryder received a follow up call from Parrish. And this is after she spoke to McCoy, everybody, right? So she's telling them,
Of
McCoy
course it
told
is.
me this and that, and I think I gotta tell you this. Parrish never observed Watts travel directly from his house to the oil field. She often encountered him at the office in the morning prior to leaving for sites. She did not recall him sending out a message via GroupMe that he was at Cervi 319, and she believes he usually sends a message to the group when he's in the field. McCoy had told her Watts had a new pair of boots that he had been wearing. Parrish had not seen this new pair of boots. On Monday, August the 13th, Watts was wearing an older pair of boots with his pants tucked in. Parrish had observed that Watts normally wears his pants over his boots. Parrish asked Watts about this, and he replied that he was worried about snakes and legless lizards. Parrish did not believe, yeah, total bullshit. Parrish did not believe Watts was sweaty or complaining about the heat. And everybody, at 6 a.m. in the morning, it was already 25 degrees Celsius. I don't know how much that is in Fahrenheit, but yeah, it's pretty hot. Watts was sociable on Monday. He spoke about the Rockies game and he joked with McCoy, while McCoy said he was quiet, right, in his second interview. During the course of repairing the equipment, Watts released the pressure release valve (PRV), which caused some oil to spill out. Parrish had observed Watts to be meticulous with cleanliness, but on this occasion he did not clean the spill. Parrish and McNeil departed to a second site while Watts was still at Cervi 319. Later in the day, Parrish went back to Cervi 319 to evaluate the equipment as repairs had not been fully completed. She noticed that the PRV had not been wiped down, which she thought was unusual given Watt's propensity to clean messes and spills. Parrish wanted Ryder to be aware that she and McNeil had returned to Cervi 319 again on Tuesday, August the 14th at approximately 7:30 or 8 a.m. in order to check the equipment.
Nobody seems to have a watch
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
at all.
So, and these are the handwritten notes, and I think handwritten notes are more important than an interview, actually, because this is
Yes.
the first thing the officer has in his head, talks directly to the person and writes it all down like in that very moment. And when they do their little, you know, reports, some things might be missing. So let's go through this as well. So Melissa Parrish, her phone number, knows Chris a couple of months. End of June. Operator started in May with Anadarko. Bounce around, just generally work. Weekly encounters with Watts. Then Saturday's game at Dorsfield or Corsfield.
Cause it's called Causfield.
Corsfield. Can walk off. Didn't say who he was with. No other details. Hired a babysitter. Had kids' wife out of town. Didn't notice any that he was odd, very knowledgeable, hard worker, never complains, easygoing, joking, Silver Fox and Rain Man, nicknames, never angry, no complaints about family, home life, etc. Girls, his world. Chad on Monday arrived at office 6:04 a.m., left at office 7:45 8 a.m., stopped at Batcave, arrived at site 8:24 a.m. You see, that's why written notes are so important. because up in his report he said they arrived at 6 a.m. and then here they arrived at 8, between
25.
8 and 8:35, right?
Yeah,
So
and
this is why I say handwritten notes are the most important thing, and read the handwritten notes before you read any reports, and you will notice it's some of it is not in the normal reports.
I just want to give some people a little bit of a head start on where we're heading
Mm-hmm.
down the track with this. Mathematics wise, there is no way in all hell that they arrived by 8:25 a.m. That's all I'm going to say. It actually is physically impossible because they went to the Bat Cave first. Left the office
Mm-hmm.
at 7:45 is
Yes.
in the report to 8
Mm-hmm.
o'clock. Okay, it takes 5 minutes just from the office to get there, but they went via the Bat Cave. So
And
it's
got
going
out and looked for equipment they needed
correct.
for the leak,
So it's
right?
going to have taken them an hour to get there, which would have them there approximately the same time Troy McCoy arrives. And when Troy McCoy arrives, the first thing they say to him is, "So, what did you see when you got out there, Troy?" He said, "Chris Watts's truck."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he didn't mention that he saw any workers. He said he saw
Yes.
Chris's truck.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me, it looks like Troy, after our live stream the other day on Tanya's channel, where we actually pretty much worked out that Chris wasn't out there that morning at all at Cervi 319, based on his phone's locations, quite potentially Troy McCoy was first on scene that morning
Yeah,
and the only person there with Chris's truck present. That's
exactly. It's a
something that
possibility.
it's a possibility. It's
Yeah.
something we're going to look deeper into in the course of the next 2 weeks when we're actually preparing chapter 2. But we just need people to be aware that there are some massive timeline issues in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Massive.
Yeah. That's why it's so important to me to get all these interviews out with stuff different people are saying. So you're gonna be aware on what's in the timeline and why we put it in the timeline. So Chris cut by self, no indication of timeout.
Chris out by himself. So he was
Oh,
out there on
Chris
site,
out by
out by
himself.
himself. Yep.
Okay, no indication of timeout. Shoveling out around the tank. 6 to 8 inches. First time at site, nothing strange around. 2 tanks, pit, and a separator. Not sure about fracking. Not tired. Said hi to everyone. Explained what was going on. Didn't say anything. Went to the site. Arrived at the same time in separate trucks. Didn't see in cap. Bed full. No odd at second side, moved to truck to take a call. This is when what did he do when he took that call? Who called who did he call? I can't remember who he called. But he was in his truck like all the time, if we're talking about Cervi 1029.
Yeah, we spoke to NA a few
Yeah,
times.
possibly, yeah. But this is something odd that Melissa does not, I mean, she mentions quite a few details. But as we found out in the live from Sunday, he sat in his truck basically all the time while it's Cervi 1029. But she doesn't find that odd. And she never mentions it. She only mentions this one phone call, which is odd to me. Because if somebody is a hard worker and, going bouncing around all the time, then to me it would be odd if somebody is sitting all day in his truck. Just saying.
Absolutely.
But that's just my view. No indication about troubles at home, not aware of enemies, no fears or concerns. Talked about girls. Um, doesn't know Chris to ever go straight to the field. Well, he does a couple of times, according to his geotab.
So this is the next day, remember?
Mm-hmm.
This is now the 16th of the 8th, isn't it? It's not the same
Yes, no.
Is it this the follow-up phone
She-
call day?
Exactly. She called back in and said, well, I spoke to Troy McCoy, right? And he said I should mention that he was wearing baggy pants. And then she mentions his work boots that Troy McCoy said, you better mention this. And the same odd thing he does to Chad. And Chad calls back in to Frederick Police or the FBI and says, well, I just wanted to mention that he was wearing baggy clothes and
Oh my
old work
God.
boots. So
Yeah.
that's not important at all.
It's
But just
important
the
to us
thought of
right
it.
now. It's important to us right now when we're actually getting to
Yes.
the nitty gritty part of this
Mm-hmm.
case. Troy McCoy, everybody, is acting very suspiciously. Very suspiciously.
Yeah.
And it's something's very, very wrong right now, the further we go in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, why would he call them specifically and tell them, you gotta tell police that he was wearing, who cares? Right? And also, the character, you see that Troy McCoy is quite a leader in this case because what he says, they do. Right? That's
Yep.
also odd.
And one
I
of your
mean,
commenters in chat just said, I love how she said, Troy McCoy told me to say this. Thanks, Sylvia. All right. Yeah. Troy McCoy told me to say this. I love
yeah,
that.
well, what she says is, he suggested I should mention it, right? This is, I should
Yeah.
mention it. Yeah. So Monday, pants tucked into boots, didn't notice sweat, heat, hasn't seen in new boots, still sociable, talked about Rocky's game, joking with Troy, released PRVs, pressure release valve, spat oil, are usually meticulous about cleanliness, could see where spill, later went to second side at S still there, went back to Cervi 319, PRV not wiped down, unusual. And this is where the interview with Melissa ends.
Now, we're talking here right now, everyone. I just want to let everyone know. According to the narrative, right now, on Monday, the 13th of August, Christopher Lee Watts buried his wife, Shanann, and disposed of his two beautiful children.
Mm-hmm.
One of the people that was present that morning, that fateful morning, according to the narrative, was Melissa Parrish. She got a 1.5 page interview. And she was present the morning all of this took place, according to the narrative. Troy McCoy was also present. He got an 1.5 hour interview, followed by an interview that was also not in the Discovery, his first interview, which was on the 15th, where he humbly forgot. Oh, I forgot to tell you that I went out there on Tuesday. He did mention that on the 15th. So on the 17th, he actually follows up with the big interview.
Mm-hmm.
So Troy's out there. Chad McNeil's out there. He also gets a page or a page and a half. And then the other person, is obviously Chris, and Cody Roberts got an actual voice interview, and he actually wasn't even at Cervi 319 that day at all. He was at Cervi 1029.
Right.
So why does Chad and Melissa get a pass in a verbal voice recorded interview? I'm sorry, it doesn't make any sense to me. They were present. And there are fingerprints on a plastic bag, latent prints that do not belong to Chris and do not belong to Shanann. Whose prints are they? And none of those workers out there's fingerprints were actually obtained and taken. So each and every one of those that are actually out there at Chris's site are actually a suspect until proven otherwise, because they were present the morning the bodies were disposed of.
Yeah. I mean, it's a thing with these smear prints and latent prints, and those prints could have been easily from the people who manufacture these bin bags, right?
Of
But
course.
to eliminate that, they should have taken um, fingerprints of everyone that was on site that morning, just to eliminate them from being a suspect or having anything to do with this. Just Troy, he's pretty smart in that. He mentions, "Oh, I touched the shovel."
He mentions that shovel that he picked it up to actually fill in.
You know? Yeah,
Yeah, he mentions he held Chris's shovel to actually fill the hole in after Chris left to go to Cervi 1029. That's when he actually mentions he picks up Chris's shovel. So he actually physically gone and now put his hands on Chris's shovel. For now, his fingerprints are going to be found on it. If they're found on it, he covered himself and gave himself a story, like a cover story for his prints to be on it.
right. Hold
And
on, my hold on a second. My Wi-Fi is about to die again.
mhm.
Just switching.
Are we still up and running?
Yep,
All right. So
pretty good.
and something else I wanted to quickly add in regards to Troy and the shovel instance is Troy has he also states in his interview that
Thank you, call girl.
if
Cali
there's
girl.
a
Sorry.
if there's a if an inspector was to come out and see that there was a leak, they would get in trouble. So he had to hold Chris's shovel and cover that the oil leak that was actually under that little separator thing or whatever it's called. All right. So, well, no. What about the leak all weekend that was there, that was exposed?
Mm-hmm.
So, Cody could have covered it himself on Friday when he was out there when he made the phone call to Chris when he was at the when he made the phone call to Troy when they were at the Safeway parking lot. Why
Right.
didn't Cody cover it
Mm-hmm.
to make sure the inspectors didn't see it, or Victor didn't see it when he was out there checking the site on Saturday and Sunday? He's the caretaker, everybody, for those that are unaware, of the service sites on weekends. But come Monday, Troy makes damn well sure he picks up that shovel to cover the hole just in case the inspectors come out.
Right.
Give me a break.
Yeah, some weird stuff going on with these three. Really weird. I mean, they should have just taken fingerprints, like I said, to eliminate them. And now it's all weird. It's really weird.
I'm sorry, Lily. I didn't see your question with the super chat. Here we go.
What? I
Lily.
didn't see it, Lily.
It's okay. We gotcha, Lily. Gotcha. Gotcha. Tanya, that's for you to read out.
What was it?
Tanya
Oh
and
my
Dave.
God, Lily, thank you so much. That must have
Yeah.
occurred when I switched Wi-Fi. I still think Troy called CW's phone at 6:45 and canceled it. I listened to the interview again. The FBI doesn't read phone. Troy called CW's phone.
I know what you're
Could be.
saying,
It
Lily.
could be.
Yeah,
It could
I
be.
know. Yes, I know exactly what you're saying because they think people say that actual phone call never ever went through. Some people
Yeah,
say
but we
that
don't know that because he
that's
could have
right.
called him on his personal phone.
And the more we're learning about things, um, Troy could be ringing Troy.
Thank you, Sylvia.
I'm sorry. I'm just
Why are you
saying.
laughing?
Troy could be ringing himself. Who's got Chris's phone? If Chris doesn't have it, this is
Oh,
the thing I'm saying. Troy could be ringing Troy. Okay, so who knows?
yeah. I mean, it's definitely a possibility because we know that Troy McCoy did not have an iPhone, so I all his messages and phone calls would actually be recorded or registered. But yeah, it's definitely possible that um, when he says, that's one other odd thing. When he says he called him at 6:45, does he say he called Chris or Chris called him?
I'm sure he says Chris called him. And this is what I think Lily's making the point. Because Troy makes a point of saying, I pulled over to answer it. If you know what I mean. So I believe it was Chris calling him, is what he states. But as Lily is stating, it actually looks like a cancelled call, as in he cancelled it himself before Chris could pick it up.
So he called him, right?
That's what it actually looks like, according to Lily.
Yeah. So if he called him and canceled it, yeah, could be that he called him on his personal phone.
Because we now know, we've had a good look at Troy's phone. He had an Android. He had a Samsung phone. We've
Yeah.
actually we've gone through the photos of Troy's phone, and we've actually pretty much worked it out. It's definitely not an iPhone.
No.
So it definitely looks like a Samsung S7.
I have no clue about Samsung, but if you say so, yeah.
Samsung S7, S8. It's one of those two models that came out in 2017. So it may be an S8.
All right, you guys, that's gonna be it for today. I'm gonna get ready for dinner now. Tomorrow, I will be also doing a little live stream.
Yep.
And we're going through Chat Mc. I
Neil.
always call him Chat Michaels. I don't know why.
It's Chad
Chat
McNeil. I
McNeil's
keep reminding you.
interview. I read it out for you. This will be at about, when I'm gonna be back, about 9 p.m. my time. So what time will that be for Eastern?
6 a.m. If for me, it'll be 6 a.m. That's 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
So, all right. So I will be awake for that before I go to work.
Mhm.
And I'm still a little bit
Yes, because
queasy in the tummy.
I'm going to. I gotta show you where I'm going tomorrow.
Here we go.
I'm gonna do this with the. Oh, hold on. I had a head and neck massage yesterday. It was the best thing that I ever had.
Yep. You look like you really, you hate going away. It looks devastating for you.
Yeah.
The life that you live.
I'm so sorry.
What was on your desk this morning when you went in there for your first thing? 9 a.m. this morning.
Oh my God!
9 a.m. 9 a.m. this morning. You're going to training. Listen to this, everybody. Training 9 a.m.
Okay.
in the morning.
I'm at a hotel and they doing their own wine and whiskey and stuff like that, right? So I come in 9 in the morning, and the hostess, she's going around, giving us water and cola and all that stuff. So what she's saying is, oh, we just finished the new
Batch.
Merlot.
Yep.
I don't have no clue what this wine is called. I'm not a drinker at all. So she's like, do you want to try it 9 a.m. in the morning, right? And I said, yeah, okay. And she poured me a glass of wine. So I was drinking wine 9 a.m. in the morning.
An hour later, Tanya's having aspirin because she's already got a headache because she doesn't drink.
Yeah, and after that, I send. I can actually show you that picture real quick if you're even interested.
A glass of red wine at 9 a.m. in the morning to a person that doesn't drink normally.
Yeah.
Okay.
So where was that picture? Real quick. So
it's quite funny.
Here you go.
That way. There you go. There it is.
That was my little wine.
That was a
And
little wine to start the day.
I sent to Dave 2 hours later, or was it 3 hours later?
2 or 3 hours later, it's got the
2 or
aspirin
3
on
hours later.
the aspirin on the bottom. Yep, that's it. Aspirin on the
Aspirin
bottom.
in the same wine glass. I'm sorry, but alcohol is just not for me at all.
Yep,
Like I
that's
drink
all
some
right.
champagne on New Year's Eve, but that's about it. So
As Ali said in chat,
this is where I'll
as
be. This is how the hotel looks from inside. They have a spa, and this is where I'm going tomorrow
oh my goodness
with
gracious
the whole
me,
team. Yeah, it's
that's
very
terrible.
nice here. Very nice. And everything is like golden and stuff like that. Very nice. Mhm.
As one of your commenters just
And
said
this is
in
not
chat,
mine, by the way. This is the hotel's. They have little
um,
tablets, and you can, remote control everything from that little tablet.
and so one of your commenters in chat just said that it was 12 o'clock in the world somewhere when you actually had your wine.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Well, it was actually 6 p.m. for me when you were having your wine. So
No, the
it's
thing is,
absolutely perfect.
I try. It's no problem, but this was like this much in the glass, and that was just way too much for me. As a person who only drinks like water and Dr. Pepper addicted, wine and the stuff, no. Tough life, yeah. Okay, you guys, without any further ado, you guys gotta keep cracking on with whatever you're doing, working, sleeping,
Yeah.
eating, and I'm gonna get ready for dinner now. Dave,
Now
if you
she's got me. Now,
can
now you've.
stay here a second.
Yeah. No worries. Now you've woken me up. I'll have to. I'll be up reading the Discovery, no doubt,
Mhm.
after this live stream. Everybody.
No problem at all. All right, and tomorrow, like I said, 9 p.m., that's 3 p.m. Eastern. We're gonna go through Chet Michaels real quick.
McNeil.
Uh, Chet McNeil. I'm gonna put a little note here. I don't know why I say Michaels. No clue. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, read it out to you because there's no audio. Same goes for Chet McNeil.
Very good.
So I'm gonna be doing that tomorrow for you guys, okay? So stay good and see you tomorrow. Love
Bye,
ya.
everyone.
Bye bye.
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 Bye.